we want to have a link with this path of Isma, this path of those who are away from any type of najasa, any type of shortcoming. So I have emphasized before, and this is my first time here in this city, that inshallah we should keep this in our mind, that these majalis should be the institution, should be the class where we can have this thing in our mind, that we have to get the ulum of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, knowledge of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and we try to instill or use this knowledge in our daily life. If we are not doing that, then we need to go back again, do the niyyah again, come back to the majalis and think in the same way, and not only think but have to build our majalis, both those who are speaking from majalis and those who are listening in the majalis, with this thing in our mind that we need to learn from Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Because mere pain and thinking of the pain and calamities of Karbala is not enough. In Islam, we have everything for a reason, right? The system Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made, let's say He made two systems. One system is a takwini and the other one is tashri'i. The takwini means how He made, let's say, the materialistic part of this world and the whole kainat, the universe, and the physical phenomena in this world. Let's say the gravitational forces, right? Let's say these galaxies. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's takween. And tashri' is His orders, which He sent down through prophets. And this tashri' goes hand in hand the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this universe. And the best thing He has created in this universe is who? Is insan. So that's why the tashri', the haram and halal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down through Quran and through the holy books before Quran. They actually work with the way our nature has been made. Even our physical form has been made. It goes hand in hand with the tashri' which is sent down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we have this thinking in our mind, then we will know that Islam, the Islamic orders, the haram and halal, they are real. They are not a mere construct of some person who has passed away like 1400 years ago, unfortunately. I have to say things like this because these kind of mabahis, these kind of discussions are being done. That maybe, na'uzubillah, Rasulullah was a good person who got intuition, and that's what he recommended. What does it mean? That if I do that, that's fine. If I don't do it, I will get what I want to get if I'm a good person. So not necessarily I have to follow the Sharia, the law of Islam, to get to my destination. If we have discussions like this, then we need to come and know the real Islam. And these kind of discussions and these kind of people come out because unfortunately our knowledge about Islam is quite limited. It's really superficial. Because we think that just like we have a Sharia of Hindus, we have a Sharia of Ahl Kitab, we have a Sharia of Islam as well. They don't eat cow's meat, we don't eat other kind of meat. That's it. That's the only difference. If we keep our knowledge limited to this, we wouldn't be able to transfer this knowledge to our next generations. And let's forget about the next generation for 1 minute, not in reality. What am I doing in my life? Am I connected to Islam and the Sharia of Islam the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to connect with it or not? And if I'm not connected with it, then I need to come to this majalis. From this majalis, I'll get the cue where I have to go and where I have to get the knowledge from. The right knowledge from the right sources. The right knowledge from right people. Both the knowledge, the right knowledge is important, and right people are important as well. Sometimes you can hear good things from not good people. And sometimes you can hear not good things from good people. But in Islam, just like taqween and tashri go hand in hand, a good knowledge has to come from the right sources. Please recite a salawat. So, having this thing in my mind, I chose the title. I don't know if the title was there or not. That inshallah the title of the majalis would be The Modern World Ignorance, or the Era of Modern Ignorance. So this is a statement. Let's start this discussion from a statement that we are living in a world which is drenched into ignorance. And this ignorance is relatable to the ignorance of pre-Islamic Arabia. So this is the thing, inshallah, we're going to talk about in these, like today and coming 2 days. And inshallah, if you have any questions or you want to do any discussion about this, we can do it here, or we can find other way out to write down the questions and discuss about that. So the topic is talking about the modern or era of modern ignorance. This word, modern ignorance or modern jahiliyyah, has been used by some ulama. Or maybe they have used it in different contexts, and the way we are going to talk about this will be a little bit different. When you see the world from above, you can see the world is drenched into fights and bloodshed and killing of innocents. And you can go back and think that when insan was made and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was making Hazrat Adam, and he was saying that to the angels that come and prostrate in front of Adam. Please recite salawat. Please recite another salawat. There was a question angels asked at that time, that you are giving your vicegerency or your khilafah to this person or this entity, and he is going to go down there and start killing each other. His progeny will be killing each other. There will be a lot of bloodshed. So the question arises, how the angels knew that? So the tafsir says that before insan, there are some other makhluk which were born in this world and were sent here. They call it nasnas, and they did the same thing. So they had this experimental or experience of this knowledge. Because of that, these angels were saying this to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other thing which they said is this, that the make and model of Adam alayhi salam and the progeny of Adam is in such a way that when they're going to be gone, or they're going to come in this world which is limited, there will be a fight all the time. To save Adam alayhi salam and the progeny of Hazrat Adam from this fight and the bloodshed, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did? He sent down Anbiya alayhi salam. So like going back to this discussion when we said that the tashri and the taqween go hand in hand, he made Adam alayhi salam and the progeny of Adam in a way that when they're going to come in this world, it is in their kind of jibillat or tabiyat, I wouldn't say nature, not in fitrat, but the way their physical form is made is in this way, they're gonna be conflict in this world. But this physical form of Adam and the Bani Adam and the progeny of Adam had the ruh, or has the ruh of Allah. And because of that ruh of Allah, he will be saved from this bloodshed and the constant fighting. So this is what the plan is. But what happens if I forget about this? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me in a physical form. After that, he gave me a ruh which came from Allah, and that ruh is going to save me from fighting each other and shedding the blood. What's going to happen? The thing which is going to happen is what's happening right nowadays. And that's what called jahiliyyah, or ignorance. Because this man is ignorant of his reality. His reality is not his physical form. His reality is not to go and grab the lands from other people, kill other people, take their money. His reality is to be a good person who is traveling towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The whole concept of Karbala, the whole conflict of Karbala is based on that. The whole Ashura, the 5 or 6 or probably mostly 7 to 8 hours fight of the day of Ashur revolves around this very concept. If I miss this very concept, that there was a fight between Jahiliyyah and Ilm, or Shahwa and Aql, in Karbala and in Ashura, then I'm going to lose Karbala from my hands. Please recite salawat. So if I made this statement, I said all these things to make a point, that the statement I made that we are living in an era of modern Jahiliyyah or modern ignorance is not an empty statement. It has some thought process going on behind that. You have the right to disagree with me, and inshallah we can discuss it later on, but there is a thought process going on behind that. Because the modern man has cut down his real relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has cut down his own relationship with his soul and his spirit, his essence, his adamiyat, his insaniyat, right? His essence of Allah, or ruhullah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that nafaqtu fihi min ruhi, what did I do after making the model of this clay of Adam? I put my ruh in him. The real essence of Adam and Bani Adam is his ruh. Is his essence which is connecting him to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If this person, if the progeny of Hazrat Adam is not connected to his ruh, he is not connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he is not connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is in Jahiliyyah. And you tell me that what is modern man doing right now? He might have really good gadgets which he made, nice cars, nice airplanes, trying to go to Mars, already have gone to moon, apparently. Not starting any conspiracy theory here, how the flag was hanging or how it was happening like that. But let's say man has reached the moon and trying to reach Mars and other celestial bodies, but he is disconnected from his essence. That's why Shaykh Mutahari says that these zalimeen, if they conquer the whole world, he gave the example of Alexander, I guess, Sikandar. After conquering the whole world, if the whole world would be in his hand, he would want to go to other planets and try to conquer them too. And want to keep all this for himself. Why? Because he has only one mission, to expand himself physically, not focusing on his essence, which is his soul and ruh. Not focusing on this, that he is the vicegerent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Please recite a salawat. The worst thing in my mind is this, that This is the present condition of a modern man right now. The worst thing above that is this, that a modern man thinks that he is more developed than any other generations before him. Just because he is inventing new things, that just because I can travel around the world in few hours, he thinks that he is bigger and better and more sophisticated than the generations who came before him. And that kind of ignorance is called compound ignorance. The worst thing a person can be afflicted by is compound ignorance. Let me explain what compound ignorance is. So Jahiliyyah or Jahl Basit is simple ignorance, and compound ignorance is Jahl Murakkab. So what Jahl Basit is, sada or simple, that I studied in Qum, I studied college before Qum, I never studied physics. I don't know what modern physics is. I don't know what quantum theory is. When I go to YouTube, I watch a 15 minutes video of quantum theory, I watch a video of 10 minutes of wormholes, and I think that I know everything about these things. Although in reality, I don't have any idea what these things are. But because I got like a ready-made ilm, a ready-made knowledge about these things on the YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, I just get that, regurgitate some terms, and think of myself as a physicist. Or at least I can talk to a physicist, and I would know modern physics. This is compound ignorance, that I do not know that I don't know. I don't know that I am not a physicist. I don't know anything about wormholes. I don't know how wormholes are related to time travel or whatever. How the mass and energy are related to each other, right? But why am I mentioning this, brothers and sisters? It's because this is really a big problem in my nazar. Again, you can say that, Maulana, you're not right, and bring your own references or things. Unfortunately, the modern, especially after this, I wouldn't say these words, but I don't know, sorry for the lack of vocabulary here. The blast of information on internet, everybody can go to Google and ask AI different kinds of questions, get a ready-made knowledge, information, and sit in different people, try to show off that they know this too. My background is medical science, but I can talk about physics. My background is engineering, but I can talk about the viruses and molecular biology and stuff like that. Why? Because I got a small information from internet. Try to come with me and try to go where I'm trying to take you. Anyone who is doing that, and most of us, probably not here, inshallah, those who are not here, are doing this. We are trying to get ready-made knowledge, ready to digest knowledge and regurgitate in front of other people, just to show off. This is the consequence of compound ignorance. This is that I don't know that I do not know in depth about something. The ignorance which is a weaker type, which is easier, which can be resolved, that ailment or that ignorance can be cured, is simple ignorance. That I know that I don't know, right? That's simple ignorance. If I would have gone to this AI and asked him about wormholes, I would say, Baba, I don't know what you're talking about. You're a physicist, you studied 4, 5, 6 years, you did master's, PhD, tell me what is that about. And when I am in this situation, when my condition is on the receiving end in the way that I am prepared to receive ilm, then I am a talib ilm. Then I'm a student. Then I would know that a person who is more learned than me can come and give me some knowledge. I can absorb something. I can build on that knowledge something. That's why simple ignorance is really good for us. But compound ignorance is like cancer. The other disease, that's why cancer is known as silent killer, right? Because cancer cannot be diagnosed unless the symptoms are visible or they're symptomatic to the patient. For years and years, the cancer is asymptomatic there. That's why that's a silent killer. Compound ignorance is like this. Maybe in a lot of things in my life, I think that I know it better, but I don't know. Who is going to gauge that? Well, so Maulana, you said we don't know. I say we know. Who is going to gauge that? Of course, the experts. Islam always believe in the expertise of an expert. We have this thing in riwayat that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, some people came from Roman Empire, like the Roman Empire at that time was kind of the Syria, the modern day Syria. So they went there, they had fight, the Muslims went there and they saw that culture and they came back to Rasulullah and they talked about the people and the culture of that area, the Eastern Roman Empire. And one of that person was making fun of the Aristotle and Socrates and all these people. They said like, oh, I don't know what they're talking about. They have like different kind of things. Probably that's their prophet or whatever. And they're following them. And he made a fun. This Muslim who came back from Syria, he was making fun of the ulama of Roman Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire. Rasulullah said, don't say that. They were the learned people of their nation. And one of the riwayat from Imam Jafar Sadiq, is that they said that Aristotle and Socrates could be the prophets of their time. Islam always encourages ilm. We are based on ilm. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down Rasulullah for what? هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسول منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة. That's what you read in Surah Jummah today, right? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down Rasul, a person who is appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly, to Ummiyin, let's translate Ummiyin, those people who are not learned, who is reading Quran to them, doing their tazkiyah, cleaning them. Now, we're going to discuss about tazkiyah later on, inshallah, in our discussion. And yu'allimuhum al-kitaba wal-hikmah. And giving them the ilm of kitab and hikmah. Baba, our religion is based on that. If my religion is not that the tree Hazrat Adam was not supposed to go close to was a tree of knowledge. No, this is not my religion. Somebody else's religion. So if I am like this, I have to be ilm dost. I have to love ilm. I have to love those who have ilm. More than that Islam believe in the expertise of expert. Islam believes in Anbiya alayhimus salam. Those who have ilm ladunni, those who have ilm which is taken by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly, without any contamination. So if I wouldn't have any Rasul or Nabi or Imam in front of me, I'll go to an expert. But if I have an Imam and Rasul in front of me, I'm going to listen to him first. Because his ilm is not contaminated. His ilm is not ilm husuli, but ilm huduri. Inshallah, I'm not going to go in details of what huduri and husuli is. Just to translate it, husuli means ilm which is taken by someone, by some other source, by ustad, by a book, by school. Huduri means that a person is connected to that ilm. For example, I ask every one of you here, how many fingers you have in your right hand? Do you have to see and count? No, right? That's your ilm huzuri. You know this ilm. It is embedded in your nafs, it is embedded in your ruh and in your nafs. Without saying it, without even thinking of it, you will say, I have 5 fingers in my right hand. The haqiqah of this world, the reality of this world, and different realms of the existences, realms of the existence in this world and other worlds, is like the fingers of the hands for a masoom. So if, now I'm going to conclude the way I want to come here. If I don't have experts, I'm going to go to masoom for all kind of ulum, all kind of ilm, especially the ilm of Islam. That's the place I wanted to come. Just like I cannot be an astrophysicist by seeing a 30 minutes YouTube video, I cannot be an expert in Islam by seeing a 30 minutes video, right? I mean, it's not a rocket science, right? Like that's what they say. It's a really ugly thing. Unfortunately, just like the parking in the centers, Islam is like this. In centers, inshallah not here, other centers, you can park anywhere, right? In the middle of the line. Similarly, sometimes my Islam is like this. Maulana, I think in this way. Why? Because I think it should be like that. I think that to get knowledge and go to the sources, the real sources, it's not that important. Allah Ta'ala has created me. He has created me, my ruh. I can just sit down in a dark room, have a really good relationship with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. I'll get intuitions about Sharia. I'll get the intuition that whether I should read namaz or not, the way it is taught. I can get the intuition whether I should fast or not. It doesn't work like this, brothers and sisters. It doesn't, especially for us. We are the follower of the Babul Ilm. We are the follower of Madinatul Ilm. If we are inflicted by compound ignorance, like the modern man, I made a statement there, you can refute me later on, modern man is inflicted by this. Modern man thinks that he's better than other people from the past. They have the documentaries and these and all those things, that how brutal men were before, let's say in dark ages, in European dark ages. It's not a dark ages in every corner of the world. European dark ages, or medieval ages, or before that, the kings used to kill people like this. How about you are doing the same thing here? With more sophisticated weapons, with a click of one button. In those days, they used to do some other, knives and stuff. You have one click of the button and you can wipe out thousands of people. Innocent people. Did you climb up the ladder of insaniya here? No, you're not. You didn't. You have electric car, you have great phones, but that's the smart gadget, not a smart man, right? So this man, modern man, is drenched into this ignorance. Please, recite salawat. Now, What causes this compound ignorance? The first thing is this is really hard to catch. Somebody has to come from outside to tell a person who is inflicted by this compound ignorance. Because he, in his mind, he is 100% sure that whatever he is doing is right. He has the limited knowledge, but that limited knowledge is okay. Is helping his house, is helping his life, is making good money, is providing for his family. All the check marks are ticked off. My great, diploma and degree and my great job, and because of that great job, I'm making good money, so I am a successful person. Don't get me wrong, they're all there. That is ilm as well. It can take you somewhere, of course. It is wajib on us to do this. It's wajib on us to go to school, get good, job, provide a good living for my family. It's wajib, according to Sharia, according to Islam. But if I think that I am expert in every level, then that's a problem. Especially Islam, especially those things which has to be pivotal in my life. Especially that my values, my family values, my community values, my social values have to be built on that thing, has to be from untainted sources. Either from Rasul, Nabi, Imam, or from the experts. There's no room for my own efforts here. My own efforts should be built on the ilm which I acquire from other people. Unless somebody says, Maulana, I'm a waliullah, I go there and I gather direct ilm huzuri from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I talk to Allah. If you say that, that's fine. I'll take it. As long as we cannot claim that, we need to go to real sources. The definition of a developed man, the definition of a modern man, which is instilled in our minds, is wrong. Because that's the product of the system of compound ignorance. There's a system of compound ignorance. You're expert in physics, well and good. You come to Mimbar and try to, again, now I will be really, really careful here. I try to explain Mirajun Nabi on the basis of my modern physics knowledge. That's not acceptable. That's not your expertise. You can say, oh, maybe that was the thing. Maybe the mass and energy communication, or the way the mass and energy are connected is that. Maybe. For the Marajul Nabi, for the akhlaq, for the morals, for the sharia, I cannot use that. This is not the tool to make sharia. Aql insani, the pure aql, which is untainted from shahwa, which makes me, help me grow as an insan, that is not equipped to produce wahi. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the most intelligent insan, we have to talk like this, otherwise he is nothing but aql by himself. That's why Rasulullah is known as aql ula. Well, that's different discussion in Islamic gnosis and spirituality and irfan. The first creation which is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even for him, he cannot produce sharia. He can receive Allah's words. He can receive, he is the vessel where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has poured Quran. He didn't make Quran. This is really funny, and actually it made me think something when I was working, when I was here, and I was just discussing these things about Christianity and Islam with my co-workers. And one my Christian friend told me that, yeah, the Quran is written by Prophet Muhammad. I said, whoa, no, it's not written by him. But this is how they interpret it, right? Because a person, if I'm saying these words, I'm a regular person, there's something going on in my mind, and these words are coming out of my mouth. This is the process of a regular person. But Rasulullah, who's taking the ilm huduri, he is speaking as it is coming to his qalb. I won't say mind, because then it becomes more confusing. Qalb is a place which is higher than mind. Qalb is a place, you can say, just to get close to this concept, which cannot be deciphered by mind and your aql. And we all have that. The nafs and qalb and ruh, we all have that. And we receive that kind of knowledge to some extent. But Rasulullah's knowledge was pure. Quran was pure. Those sentences were not made in his mind. When he was saying, Qul huwallahu ahad, no. He was receiving that. And in like this, I come here and I read something and I take one PhD, two PhDs and this and that, and then I say, you know what? It should be like this. No, Baba, don't do that. It doesn't mean that we cannot question these things. Yeah, we can question these things. Any kind of question is allowed in Islam. Any kind of question. With the mindset that I want to get ilm. Not with the mindset that I'm going to refute it. Brothers and sisters, I don't know if I'm able to explain this, that this mindset of ours is really important to get rid of this compound ignorance. If my mindset is this, that I already know everything and I want to check other people, or in some instances, Sharia of Islam or Quran, if Quran can be interpreted and explained by my aql, which is limited, then Quran is right, otherwise it's not. That's not possible. Yeah, I can, again, have question in Quran. Why Hazrat Khizr killed that child? I have a question. I can ask this question. In Sharia of Islam, unless you commit a crime, you cannot be killed. Why did he do that? Right? And questions like this. What is farishte? What is angels? What's the use of them? What is death? Where are we going to go? What is life after death? Well, how can I explain the existence of God? Why God and Allah is necessary in my life? All of these questions are valid. All of them. But the same questions, if they're asked with our mind filled with some other knowledge, which is fake knowledge, or at least which is limited knowledge, and I'm trying to build my aqaid, I'm trying to build the knowledge of Islam over that, is going to shatter. And that is what's happening. That's what's happening right now. Please recite salawat. So, to get out of compounding ignorance is really difficult, unless somebody is going to come from outside and say, Baba, this is how you are making this connection in a wrong way, because your knowledge is limited. While the real knowledge is this. For example, I gave the example of, a physicist. A physicist can come and correct me. Okay, yeah, this 30 minutes video, that's good. You know few terms, that's fine. But this is what the reality of this thing. There are like years and years of research. Big, thick books which people have wrote. The articles, the scientific articles which people wrote. After that, when you read it for a certain amount of time, under a system, under a teacher, then you can talk about these things. And unless this teacher is going to come to me and tell me, I'll be the smartest guy in the room, right? because the other people don't know. They didn't even watch that 30 minutes video. So I'll just throw out these some terms and say this. So to get rid of compound ignorance, we have to go to the experts. We have to go to the mahafil of ulama. In our du'as, like even Dua Kumar, I don't have these specific words, that Imam says that maybe you didn't see me going, probably it's in Dua Kumar or in some other dua in Saifa Sajjadiyah, that you didn't see me, oh Allah, that I'm going to the ulama, the mahfil of ulama, where the ulama are there. And again, the ilm and ulama and aql, we're going to talk about this in coming to majalis. We're going to describe it and try to define it, redefine it, brothers and sisters. It is a big thing nowadays for me that we need to redefine all these things. When I say ilm, when I say aql, when I say, nafs, when I say alim, the other things come in our mind. We need to kind of wipe those things out and try to build a new thing here. So we have to go to ulama, or we have to, and we have to change our mindset as well. Because if I am going to this mahafil of ulama, if these group of expertise, and I am not ready to receive anything, what's going to happen? I'll be sitting in that group and seeing that whatever he's saying, one point, if he makes a mistake, one place which I cannot understand, one sentence on which I can make fun of him, I'm going to use that. This is called stubbornness. If I have compound ignorance, on top of that I have stubbornness, that I'm not ready to get any other knowledge and kind of tally my knowledge and see if my knowledge was right or wrong, or grow in my aql and ilm, that's called stubbornness. Going back to the creation of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, please recite salawat. That was my topic in 10 days of Muharram, but inshallah I'm going to give a small example from that. If you go back there when everything was happening, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this mold of Hazrat Adam and put his ruh there and asked the angels to do prostration in front of him. Angels asked some questions, and Allah ta'ala answered angels. Remember that in Islam you can ask questions. Islam is not dictatorship. Islam is not an uncle like me who's saying that because I said it, so it's gonna be like this, right? Islam is not like this, कि जो बाबा ने कहा है वही होगा, right? In Islam, you can communicate, you can have a dialogue. Even in the Quran, the angels are having dialogue with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He is answering them. He's answering them and then proving it to them that I know, you don't know what I know. And then he goes to Hazrat Adam and asks him to say some words or asma or names. And when the angels saw that, yeah, our knowledge is limited, they prostrated in front of Hazrat Adam. These kind of questions I said there are angelic questions. If these kind of questions are coming in my mind, they're angelic. I can't build up myself and my knowledge on these kind of questions. But there was one person as well there at that time. He not asked a question, but he kind of questioned Allah's creation. And that was Iblis. And he said that, I'm not going to prostrate in front of him. Why? What's your reason, Iblis? Because I'm made up of fire and he's made up of mud. So this person had a limited knowledge. On top of that, this compound ignorance, with limited knowledge comes compound ignorance. This compound ignorance, on top of that, he had stubbornness. Instead of saying that, oh Allah, yeah, you know better than me, he's bringing some reasons of his limited knowledge as well. It's just like I'm going to Rasulullah or Aimma alayhi salam and I'm stubborn and not taking anything from them. I can go them and ask them angelic questions, and that's what people used to do and increase their knowledge. Even had the mubahisa, had the, like dialogue with Imam. But if I have a mindset that, what my knowledge is the best knowledge, and what I think of myself is the best thing, that's satanic knowledge. That's satanic question. So sometimes the compound ignorance, like I said, it has some little bits of knowledge as well. So it's not like total ignorance. You cannot say that a person who doesn't know anything is inflicted by compound ignorance. As a matter of fact, the compound ignorance is inflicted by to only those who have some knowledge. He has some knowledge. And when I'm saying some, it's not some. He knew that Allah is only one. He knew that what's going to happen to Hazrat Adam. He knew the Yawm al-Qiyamah is going to come. He believed on all these check marks, right, of a moment. But because he had this stubbornness, because he cannot change his mindset, because he cannot be on the receiving end where anybody, here in this case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can increase his knowledge and increase his self and bring him up. He was not ready for that. He became shaitan. He became Iblis. And he made a trade with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I did all the ibadah. Because of this ibadah, I just want to practice my enmity with this Adam till Yawm al-Qiyamah. So if, na'udhu billah, I am afflicted by compound ignorance, and on that I am stubborn, then I am going to, I wouldn't say the word, the path which is chosen by this Rajim. Please recite salawat. Now this last point, I actually mentioned this point before, that to have knowledge, we need to know the reality of human beings as well. We are the vicegerent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we are made up of two things. One is our body, and the other is our soul. Now when I say the body and soul, it doesn't mean that they are not connected, otherwise we wouldn't be living right now. The soul is kind of a rider on a horse. The horse or the ride is my body, and the soul is the rider. Now if I know this reality, I will practice this in my life. There's some food for this soul. One of the food is ilm. If I give my soul some ilm, it's going to grow. What's going to happen? When the ruh grows, I get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What happens then? This is what my destination is. I am built for this journey. If I don't embark on this journey, I would be probably walking on treadmill and reaching nowhere, right? Inshallah, if you brothers and sisters are doing the niyyah of going to Mashi of Karbala, between Najaf and Karbala, if I want to walk from Najaf to Karbala, it takes like almost 2 days to walk there. Inshallah, Allah give us all tawfiq to participate in that. If I put a treadmill in between Najaf and Karbala and keep walking on that, I won't reach Karbala, right? I can lose calories, but I'll be in the same place. Similarly, if I don't get ilm as a food for my spirit or soul, I wouldn't get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'll be doing everything. Again, like all the check boxes. I'm a good Muslim, I'm a hijabi, I have beard, I am making good money, I'm a really really awesome person coming to the masjid all the time. But if I didn't change my mindset, I'm not going anywhere. If I'm not taking ilm to increase my ruh and get to Allah, that my going to the center and coming back is like walking on the treadmill. My going for namaz, salat, and coming back will be walking on the treadmill. Similarly, the Raza. Similarly, Azadari. If every year I come to Azadari and I don't move forward a little bit, it's just like I'm trying to lose some weight and lose some calories, burn some calories. Not going anywhere. Why am I saying that? Because this is happening with our community, right? Like, forget about the modern man right now. In our communities and in the Shias, it looks like that we are not going forward. Every Muharram, we should be at least going one step forward towards Imam Hussain. We might be going towards Imam Hussain in some other aspects which are kind of nominal, but not in my real life. I'm not able to integrate Karbala in my daily life. I mean, that is a fact in my mind. Again, if we want to refute it, Bismillah. As the follower of Imam Ali, the Shia of Imam Ali, with the ilm and amal, and with like growing up as a human being, we should be top of line, right? We should be. And in some places we are. Or maybe we are not going that fast as fast we should be going there. I mean, Imam Ali is our Imam. If anybody has an Imam like Imam Ali and he follows him the right way, these kind of people should be, I don't know, I don't want to say these things, should be, the chosen people, the people who are running this world. Sometimes it's difficult for me to run my own family. Maulana, we are living in a really bad situation, we're living in this place, it's really hard. We're trying to manage really, really hardly to live like a regular Muslim in this society. Really, really difficult. It's really difficult. The pressures from outside are really tremendous. How can I survive these pressures? I have to have confidence. It doesn't matter where I live. Rasulullah lived for so many years in Mecca. We're going to talk about this, the Jahiliyat of Mecca and the modern day Jahiliyat. We're living in the same society, let's say. I don't have the namuna, I don't have the ideal how to survive in this society. I should have that. Maybe because I'm not learning from these majalis. Maybe because I'm not learning from ulama. Maybe ulama are not giving me the right knowledge. Maybe those who are coming to the minbar, they are not ulama. Right? Please say salawat. Assalamu alaikum ya Aba Abdullah wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bi fina'ik jami'an salamu Allah abadan ma baqit wa baqiya al-layla wa nahar wa la ja'alahu Allah al-akhir al-ahdi minni li ziyaratikum assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn wa ala ashab al-Husayn. Brothers and sisters, this Jahiliyyah costs us a lot of things. Because of this Jahiliyyah, Muslims gathered to kill the grandson of Prophet. It's not because we're not crying and we're not relating this to the grief that he was the grandson of the Prophet, but he was like Prophet. Prophet in his life told people that look at him, he is Hussein. You think that was an accidental thing that Rasulullah would be talking from the minbar and see Hussein is coming and Hussein falls down and he get off the minbar, take Hussein in his lap and then restart his khutbah? When he was saying, he was showing people this is Hussein, he's like me. He's from me, I'm from him. because he can see what are you going to do because of your jahiliyyah. The same Hussein on the 61st of Hijrah, on 10th Muharram, people were trying to slaughter him before Namaz Asr. They asked Hazrat Sajjad about the Messiah. One of the musibah which Hazrat Sajjad had was this, that these people, these ashqiya, came to kill my father, qurbatan ilallah. They were saying, cut the head of Hussein as soon as possible, because Maghrib is so close. This jahiliyyah takes these people there, brothers and sisters. This jahiliyyah make Zainab to go in Kufa and talk to Ibn Ziyad. This jahiliyyah make Hazrat Sajjad seen the head of Imam Hussein in front of Yazid while he is giving his khutbah. And Yazid is playing with a stick and hitting that stick on the head of Imam Hussein, on the teeth of Imam Hussein, on the lips of Imam Hussein. When somebody who is not even Muslim said, "Oh Shaqi, I have seen Rasulullah kissing these lips, I have seen Rasulullah kissing this head." وَسَيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ. Matam Hussein.
گل گم کردم می جویم او را، به هر گل می رسم می بویم او را. گل گم کردم می جویم او را، به هر گل می رسم می بویم او را. گل من یک نشانی در بدن داشت، یکی پیراهن کهنه به تن داشت. حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان. اگر پیدا کنم زیبا گلم را، اگر پیدا کنم زیبا گلم را، با آب دیدگان می شویم او را، با آب دیدگان می شویم او را. گل گم کردت خواهر منم من، گل گم کردت خواهر منم من، سرور سینت خواهر منم من. حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان. نشانی را که گفتی جان خواهر، که دارد در بدن خواهر منم من. در آن دم زینب غم دیده زار، روانش که از دو چشمان گوهر بار. حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان. شتابان رفت و آن مزون نالان، بسوی قتل و گابان و افکار. صدای آشنای آمدش گوش، که شد از کف برونش طاقت و هوش. حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان. گل گم کردم به مسلمانان، که با مرکب ز روی او گذشتن. گلم پژمرده و عطشان آب است، گلایم رویش ز خون سرخوزاب است. گلم رویش ز خون سرخ و خضاب است. حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، بمیرم من از این ماتم که خواهر نشسته بر سر نعش برادر. هزاران نیزه و شمشیر و خنجر نشسته بر تن ارباب بی سر. حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، به پیش چشم زینب خون و خنجر زده فاور روایت ضرب خنجر. به چشمانه که میریزد ستاره شده خیره به آن رگهای پاره. حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، زند بوسه برگ های بریده بشوید یار خود را آب دیده. شود رأس حسین خورشید نیها بروی نی رود صحرا به صحرا. حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، امان از غربت زینب خدایا شده آواره و در دشت و صحرا. یتیمان حسین با همه یک جا روانند بی سرنوشت ز کربلا. حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان، لبم لبریز از جام حسین است، لبم لبریز از جام حسین است. عروج نام من بام حسین است، عروج نام من بام حسین است. اگر جرا قلبم را شگافت بروی لوح دل نام حسین است، بروی لوح دل نام حسین است. صلوات محمدی.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل حسين يا 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 حسين जब रदा से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू ना आया गाजी। जब रदा से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू ना आया गाजी। जब रदा से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही, गाजी। आले इमरान कहाँ और जिंदान कहाँ, ये बहन कैद हुई तू ना आया गाजी। जब रदा से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू ना आया गाजी। जब रदा से छिनी میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا. ہم کو پانی نہ ملے تیری خوشبو تو رہے, تیرے بازو نہ کٹیں چاہے مشکی زاچ دے, یہ مگر ہو نہ سکا تیرے بازو ہیں جدا. مجھ پہ ہے تشنا لبی تو نہ آیا قاضی, جب ردا سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی یا غازی, جب ردا سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی غازی. آ گئی شام علم لٹ گئے اہل حرم, ریت پر جلتی ہوئی ہو گیا ٹھنڈا علم. پرسہ دینے کے لیے مجھ سے ملنے کے لیے آ گئے بابا علی تو نہ آیا غازی, جب ردا سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی, جب ردا سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا. قید خانے میں قضا جب سکینہ کو ملی, دیکھ کرتے کا کفن بچی دفنائی گئی. اس گھڑی نام تیرا صورت نادلی بس میں دہراتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی, جب ردا سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی, جب ردا سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی. کیا سکینہ سے کہوں اے میرے دل کے سکون, آئے پانی کے لیے بہ گیا سب تیرا خون. اب کوئی آس نہیں تو میرے پاس نہیں, رسی شانوں پہ بندھی تو نہ آیا غازی, جب ردا سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی. کتنی بے بس تھی بہن اے شہنشاہ وفا, نام لے لے کے میرا جب یہ ظالم نے کہا. ناز تھا جس پہ تجھے اب بلاؤ نا اسے, اور میں روتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی, جب ردا سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی. جب چلی شے پہ چھری اے میرے شیر جری, ہاتھ ملتی تھی بہن کچھ قدم دور کھڑی, کٹ گیا شے کا گلا آئے بھائی نے صدا, تجھ کو ہر زر پہ دی تو نہ آیا غازی, جب ردا سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا. رویا ریحان کلام करके ये बात रकम खून में डूब गया मेरे गाजी का अलम जख्मी ज़ैनब का जिगर खौफ शाह कसे आए खैमों में शपी तू ना आया गाजी जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन व मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
Please prepare for prayer. We'll be starting inshallah in a couple of minutes.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله اللهم صل على محمد أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله اللهم صل على محمد وآله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد أشهد أن عليا حجة الله اللهم صل على محمد حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير الأمل حي على خير الأمل الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله وصلى على سيدنا محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله إن الصلاة ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين استغفر الله كل ذنب وأتوب إليه الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبوح قدوس رب الملائكة والروح سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله الله أكبر استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده رب صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر بحول الله وقوته يقوم ويقعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد كذلك الله ربنا الله أكبر ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات يوم يقوم الحساب رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبوح قدوس رب الملائكة والروح سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان